in terms of the current build as it is now, right? How do you believe Alperen Thompson blends with Alperen Sengün on the basketball floor?
I'll say this: Alperen Sengün and Alperen Thompson. Obviously, you think of those two players, and you're like, okay, those are two guys who don't really shoot the basketball. So there's a concern there. Obviously, basketball now, modern NBA, you need at least 4 guys that can space the floor. So you're gonna have 2 guys out there who don't really shoot. So it's like, okay, what are they gonna do? But those two are probably coming in, 2 of the best 3 playmakers on the team, along with Fred VanVleet being that other guy. So when I see Alperen Sengün and Alperen Thompson on the court together, I want them to be able to, one, Will and I talked about this a lot previously. Alperen Sengün is going to have to develop that 3-pointer eventually. And I want to say this year is going to be the year that they're going to have him on an increased volume. Because Sengün said at the beginning of the offseason, he wants to take more threes. So I don't want them to play any differently when they have both of those guys out there. I want them to run it through Alperen Sengün, and it's only going to look better when you have an excellent playmaker like Alperen, right next to him. I'm excited to see what they do with those two on the court. They can get extremely creative. Having 2 playmakers like that, get out and transition for sure will be my main thing. You have an extremely fast team, extremely young. They didn't tap into that transition offense last season. They were towards the bottom of the league in pace, I would say. Last in pace, I think, for a young team. It doesn't make any sense to me. But when you have a guy like Alperen, get the ball up the floor extremely fast. Sengün can push the pace extremely fast as well. 2 guys like that, I want them to run. And just take advantage of those things. And then the half-court offense, again, that's up to Ime Udoka. To find out the best ways to utilize those 2 players. But I don't want them to be stuck in we have 2 guys who can't shoot, let's try to operate around that. No, I want to make sure they're spacing the floor. Alperen right now, the jumper is not going to be there, but Sengün at least showed flashes last year, 36% on catch and shoot threes. So I want them to try to at least space the floor with those 2 out there a little bit and see what you can do. But just, again, it's going to be excellent ball with being played. So I'm excited to see how creative Udoka can get.
I'm of the opinion that because on paper, I think if you were to just dumb it down completely, Sengün didn't really shoot the 3-ball well last year, although I think that's more a product of him speaking about him being misused. He was discouraged from shooting the ball last year, which is kind of crazy because I don't think he shot. I want to say he shot was it high 20s, low 30s, something like that. It wasn't nothing great, obviously. I'm not saying he's a great shooter, but I think he's okay, especially for considering the fact that he's a 5. You're not expecting too much for them to be knockdown shooters anyways, but 4 or 5, I thought he was pretty solid at it when he would catch the ball and just shoot it. His problem was, and you could tell it's because someone was telling him, hey, don't shoot this ball, but he would catch it and be wide open, and then he'll do should I shoot? I shouldn't pass it. And
a lot of times, yeah,
just
a fact.
Just catch it and shoot, because all the times where he would catch it and shoot it, the form looked good, and it was, he was making a decent amount of them. It was good, but like I said, you can see his volume literally went down. It went from 1.6 his rookie season to 0.8. It would have got cut in half, which is, like I said, crazy because I think that he was a good shooter. But my philosophy is, I think high IQ guys make it work, even if on paper the games may not necessarily, complement each other the most, especially because there's not it's not like they play the same position, so it's not like we're going to have that issue where it's they're both, centers, and it's okay, how do you make that work? It's a point guard and a 5. And both of them have really, really high IQ. Both of them, are willing and capable passers. And Alperen Thompson is really good at running the pick and roll, and Sengün's really good at setting screens and being the rolling big, or making those short roll passes. I think they're both guys who can be connective pieces, and so I think it's just really cool to have that dynamic that you have a really high IQ guy at your one position who can and will make any pass in the book, and then you got a 5 on your team who can do the same thing, who can and will make any pass in the book as well. So. And like I said, I think that their bread and butter is going to be the pick and roll. I think that's where they're going to be really, really lethal, because like I said, I think that Sengün is, I think in my opinion, one of the most, if not the most underrated screen setter in the league. I think he set some really, really tough, firm screens. And that's the kind of guy that you need next to a guy like Alperen Thompson, who, his main attack is going to be attacking the basket, getting downhill. So I just envision Shingun setting some really hard screens for Amin. Amin attacking that downhill, putting some more pressure on the rim. If you commit to Amin, that's a dish to Shingun. Now Shingun has either the shot himself, or maybe there's a shooter open, or there's somebody cutting that he can hit. Like Shingun can make the decision from there, or you can commit to Shingun, and now you're gonna get postered by Amin. Like I think that dynamic right there, I think that's gonna be their bread and butter next season.
Yeah, for me, I asked you guys that question because I think a lot of people from a surface level just to see two guys who don't really shoot the ball, how does that work? But if you're involving both of them in the pick and roll and they have a spread floor, two guys can play make at a high level, throw passes. They're intelligent basketball players, and we all know how athletic Amin Thompson is. And Shingun is a sneaky athletic. Like, he has some of the weirdest poster dunks that you just don't expect to be a poster dunk, and then he actually, dunks the ball. So to me, that fit makes sense. My question for the season for the Rockets is, to me, Udoka is going to have his hands full from the perspective that you just added Van Fleet and Brooks on this team, and the blend between trying to develop players and playing veteran players and making sure that each player gets like the proper amount of tick. That's going to be the question, because Udoka has always been a veteran, player type of guy, and like, you really have to earn his trust. I'm hoping that doesn't ruin the development of the other players, because again, like, the blueprint is there. I think Shingun should be the main offensive piece, and you plug in Amin Thompson and Green around that, because again, he can pass and those guys can get downhill and convert. But the problem with that is Shingun's defense, which needs to improve. Udoka is a defensive guy first, which makes me question, okay, is he looking at Shingun to be a huge piece or not because of the defense? I don't know.
One thing I want to add to that too, I know, like I said, people on paper, I know that some people who didn't want Amin Thompson last season or this summer was because, like, okay, how does he fit with Shingun, right? They're two guys who can't shoot. But one thing I think people weren't like realizing too about Amin Thompson is, like, Shingun, I'm not gonna try to like sugarcoat it and say he was good defensively. He had his moments where he looked okay, and he had moments where he looked really bad. Like, those are two true statements as far as Shingun's defense last year. But to be fair to him, when he said he's grew this offseason, so I think it's gonna make a bit of a difference. He was used incorrectly defensively last year, so there's also that. And then three, and I think this is the most important point I was going to make, is he was playing with, like, I'm not trying to act like he was good defensively, but he was playing with a bunch of guys who were either poor defenders or did not care about defense, right? That's a fact. Yeah. I love Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green, especially KPJ. Like, I think KPJ can be a solid defender. The problem was those two guys just did not care. And I mean, to be fair to them, why would you? When your coach is letting you go out there and do whatever you want, like, why would I care about defense? I'm gonna play 30 minutes a night. If I play defense or if I don't, I'm gonna play regardless. So, but those guys did not care defensively at all last year, right? Eric Gordon was a starting small forward for 40 games a season, something like that, some in that ballpark. I have never seen an NBA player in my life like give less of a crap about a team than Eric Gordon did. Eric Gordon did not want to be here from game one, so like, he was not out there trying at all. And you have guys like, Lord have mercy, Daishan Nix, Garrison Matthews, like other guys out there who were getting, heavy rotation minutes for us last year, who just are either just downright bad defenders, or, like I said, we're not even, like, the only guys I could say even from game 1 to game 82 tried all year was Jabari and Tari. I think those are the two guys I can say with complete confidence it tried from start to finish. Everybody else, it was fluctuating. This year, it's obviously, we're probably gonna talk about Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet being brought in, but one of the additions, the good things about Amin Thompson's like, on his scouting report, that's one of the things he's good at. He's a good defender.
He plays defense. Yes, sir.
He takes pride on that side of the ball. And so obviously, like, you don't want to have two non-spaces off the floor. That's a separate conversation. But in terms of the type of like roster that would, I think, maximize Shingun and maybe him being, not the world's not best defender, having a point guard who can go out there and clamp up not just ones, twos, but also threes, and maybe even some forwards, right? Like, he's 6'7". So he can guard a lot of different positions and a lot of different, guys out there in the NBA. I think just having somebody out there is going to, by proxy, help Shingun, because now to have him rotate over and have as much to, protect the rim at the last second because Alperen Thompson is containing that. And so like I think that's one of the underrated aspects of how Alperen Thompson is going to do a lot of favors for Sengün next year.
I'm excited for those two. Like I said, Will put it perfectly in that sense. From a defensive standpoint, it wasn't just the players, again, the coaches. There was no accountability, as we mentioned. And now you got this new coaching staff. Everyone's going to be dead serious about defense. Again, Bilker brought the Celtics from the 13th best defense to the best defense in the NBA. So just having that mentality and having guys around him that are going to be feeding off of that mentality is only going to help a guy like Alperen Sengün. In my opinion, and everybody that's going to be in the rotation, I think anybody out there could be a plus defender, with the exception with Alperen Sengün. I don't think he'll ever be a great defender, but anybody else out there, I think Jalen Green, I just think he just lacks weight. I think he's gaining muscle. He's up to 195. Everybody else, KPJ, 6'6", 6'9" wingspan. I think he can be a serviceable, really good defender. Anybody else on there, Ross, you can go top to bottom from the 9 people they're supposed to have out there. I think they'll be good defenders. So I think Sengün is he's gonna be straight, especially with a guy like Alperen Thompson, as Will said. Well, I think he's gonna be probably switching 1 through 5. That's how they like to play that guy. So
the play he got hurt in summer league was because he switched and blocked the 5. That's how he got hurt. He went up and blocked the 5.
Right.
Came down on his ankle. So like I said, I'm not going to sit here and act like he's going to be out there like stopping, for Lord knows not Joel Embiid, but like it probably struggle against like I like Steven Adams too, right? Like I'm not going to act like he's going to be out there just clamping up every position. But I think that he will be able to like in like let's say all else fails, you get switched. I think Alperen Thompson, like not obviously not his rookie season, but like as he develops, I think he'll be able to hold his own, as good as anyone can at that point in time, defensively against big. So, yeah, like I said, that's a great addition to your team.
Yeah. For me, I would agree with this standpoint. I guess my only thing is like I'm hoping Udoka isn't so focused on the defense that he thinks to not play Sengün. But you made some valuable points because again, the way Sengün's being used as a defender matters. Having more defensive pieces around you who can actually play defense. Van Fleet was a pretty good passing lanes, on ball PG guy who could guard. That works pretty well. Brooks plays a lot of hard defense. Jabari Smith, multiple moments last year, he was the captain of your defense and showed the effort. So to me, like making those pieces fit is obviously his job, but I do think he has the personnel to be able to maximize the best look of what the Rockets can be. And I love what you said because Alperen Thompson to me is a sign of where the future of the NBA is, right? Like the league is going towards versatility at every spot. That means like your point guard, your 5, whoever has the capability to be switched onto bigger or smaller players, play defense, shoot, pass, play, make, defend, like being able to do everything at every position matters. So again, having a 6'7" guard who teams can't hunt at all on the defensive end, it bends the entire court.